Well, it was a case that made history. An Ohio man convicted of murdering a Tucson woman.
The weapon, his dog, a pit bull. In this Crime Trackers report, News 4 Tucson's Lupita Murillo has learned the killer is up for parole.
Was laid to rest here in Tucson. She was murdered 25 years ago. The man responsible has been in prison since then. He comes up for parole later this month.
With a little bit of luck, we'll keep him in a little bit longer.
Joyce Regals talks to her daughter every time she visits her gravesite. The man responsible for her only daughter's vicious death is Jeffrey Mann. He's now 61 years old, and this is his third attempt at parole.
I don't want someone else to suffer the way my family has suffered. I don't want him to do this again, and I believe that someone who would do what he did is very apt to do it again.
Detective Michaeline Taliano, also known as Mikey, retired from the Cleveland Police Department after 33 and a half years. She spoke to News 4 Tucson over the phone.
It looked like a butcher shop. There was blood all over the carpeting and all over the bedding.
From the get-go, the experienced detective told her partner,
"This dog didn't intend to kill her." And he looked at me and he says, "What are you, a dog psychiatrist?"
A hunch she backed up by evidence of pictures of Mac and Dolly together. There's also a picture of Dolly and her two daughters with the dog. Joyce Regals also knew the dog and liked it.
The dog was very, very loving towards my grandchildren and to my daughter.
Detectives proved to a jury the dog had been trained to attack, and the person who issued that order, Jeffrey Mann. He did that after the couple had a fight.
This is the first time in the history of the world that anybody was ever charged with using an animal as a murder weapon and successfully prosecuted.
Mann was sentenced to 15 years to life. It also came out in trial. Mann waited 4 hours before he called 911.
How could you stand there and watch somebody bleed out? And in the meantime, he moved her from the bedroom to the living room, and he bathed the dog.
Since he's been in prison, Mann also threatened the retired detective. And 5 years ago, when he was up for parole a second time,
Jeff showed no remorse and that was blaming the dog, said that it was all the dog's fault.
So 25 years later, Dolly's dead, leaving her two daughters without their mother.
There are 3 grandchildren that she never got to see.
Mac had to be put down.
There's just a lot of losses involved in this case. And for that, the only one that's really responsible for all of that is Jeff.
Joyce Regals says the next time she visits her daughter's gravesite, she's hoping to tell her that the man responsible for her murder is still behind bars. At South Lawn Cemetery, Lupita Murillo, News for Tucson.